Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to recap a 1981 romance comedy movie named Private Lessons. So, let's begin. At the beginning of the movie we are shown two friends, and their names are Philly and Sherman. They are both 15 years old. Both of them are secretly watching their seniors party from a distance. Sherman's sister Joyce is also at the party, and Joyce's boyfriend drops her in the pool, and she goes to the bathroom to change her clothes. So Philly and Sherman hide and watch Joyce change clothes. But then their teacher catches them and tells Philly it is common in this age to be curious about such things, and the teacher tells him that he should be friends with a girl of his age, but Philly is more interested in girls older than him. Philly's father is in a wealthy business. That's why there are many servants in his house. Philly sees one day, his father has hired a new housemaid, whose name is Mallow, which is much more beautiful. Then the next day Philly's father moves out of town for a business, and he calls his driver Lester, that he should take care of Philly. But Lester doesn't like Philly at all. The same day Mallow comes to Philly, and starts talking to him. Mallow then asks Philly what the housekeepers do for fun at night, to which Philly tells Mallow that all the maids here are old except you. So Mallow tells Philly that you would not have much fun talking with the rest of the maid, as much as it is coming to talk to me. And Philly looks at Mallow's legs. Mallow understands this, and starts teasing Philly, due to which Philly leaves from there restless. Then Mallow goes out with Lester for some work, so Philly goes to his room as soon as he leaves and starts looking at his undergarment. After that we get to know that Lester and Mallow are doing some kind of planning. Lester wants that Philly be intimate with Mallow before Philly's father returns. Mallow didn't like doing this. Lester blackmails Mallow about something, and asks him to do so. That same night Philly tries to see Mallow change clothes with his friend Sherman, so Mallow sees them and turns off the light. That's why he can't see anything. It seems to go on like this for a few days, and Philly starts hovering around Mallow, and he slowly starts getting closer to Mallow. The next day Philly is again trying to look in Mallow's room, so Mallow grabs her, and asks him to come inside the room. Mallow tells him that if he wants to see her take off her clothes, so why didn't he tell earlier? Mallow asks Philly to close the door. After this, Mallow takes off all the clothes one by one in front of Philly, and gets completely naked, and Philly gets very excited seeing this. After this Mallow tells Philly, "You can touch me," but Philly becomes very nervous after hearing this, and goes from there. Next day Mallow tells Philly that "I will come to see you tonight," and Philly agrees too, and Philly tells all this to his friend Sherman. That same night Philly goes to visit Mallow. Then he sees that Mallow happens in the bathtub. Then Mallow asks him to come to the bathtub. Philly initially refuses, but Mallow convinces him. Then Philly goes to the bathtub. Mallow tries to seduce Philly, but Philly gets nervous, and makes an excuse and runs away from there. Mallow stops in Philly before leaving, and offers him to be intimate with her. The next day Philly tells everything to Sherman, and Sherman tells Philly that Mallow is definitely a prostitute. That's why she wants to be intimate with you so easily. But Philly doesn't like this at all, because Philly started liking Mallow, and that night Philly takes Mallow to a movie show. And during the movie Mallow tries to seduce Philly. While coming back, Mallow keeps kissing Philly all the way, and Lester is watching it all. Now after coming home, both are going to be intimate, but before that Philly tells Mallow that he loves, and he wants to marry her too. Mallow tells Philly that we can never get married, because there is a lot of gap in their age. Philly feels really bad, and he feels that Mallow doesn't love him, and in anger Philly leaves from there, and Philly tells his friend Sherman about it. Then Sherman scolds Philly. "That's why you told him about marriage before getting intimate," but here Philly is not able to stay away from Mallow for long, and the very next day Philly asks Mallow for a date, so Mallow agrees. And on the same night, getting ready, Philly and Mallow go to a restaurant, and also flirt with each other. Then he comes home, and there are intimate ones too. Being intimate, something suddenly happens to Mallow, and she screams and faints. Philly tries to wake him up, but when Mallow doesn't wake up, Philly is horrified. She feels that Mallow is dead, because Lester once told him that Mallow has heart problems. Philly gets very scared thinking this, and goes to tell Lester. We will know as soon as he leaves that Mallow is pretending to be dead, and he's still alive. Philly brings in Lester, and Lester checks it out and says that Mallow is dead, and you killed it, because apart from the two of you, there was no one else in this room. Then Lester starts calling the police. Then Philly speaks, stopping him, that he does not do this, and in return he is ready to do anything. Now says Lester that they have to dispose of Mallow's Mallow's body. Then both of them put the body of Mallow in a large bag and close it in the freezer, so that his body does not get spoiled. After that both go to the garden and start digging graves. After that both of them take out the body of Mallow from the freezer, which had become too heavy. Lester says, that's because of the freezer, while the Mallow was not in that bag because while they were digging the grave, the Mallow came out of the freezer. Lester and Philly bury Mallow's body, and Philly sees the next day that the grave has been dug by someone, and Mallow's body is not there. Seeing all this, Philly gets very tense, and he goes and tells Lester about it. But Lester says that he doesn't know anything about it. Then they get a note that someone has taken out Mallow's body. If they want it back, they had to pay $10,000, otherwise the body will be found by the police. Then Lester calls that someone must have seen him while burying the body last night. We should give him the money. Actually, this note was not sent by anyone but Lester. Then Philly listens to Lester and takes out $10,000 from his father's safe and puts it at the place mentioned by the blackmailer. But Lester comes to his house with the money, where Mallow is waiting for him. Here we find out that Mallow's real name is Nicole, and that's why Nicole was listening to Lester, because Nicole was not from this country. She had come to this country illegally, and Lester knew this. Nicole tells Lester that they shouldn't take advantage of Philly like this. But Lester tells Nicole that if you don't listen to me, I will tell the police that you are an immigrant and have come into the country illegally, and having an affair with a 15-year-old boy is a crime. So this scares Nicole, and she doesn't say anything. Lester then tells Nicole to stay hidden in his old hotel, but now Nicole also fell in love with Philly. After this, Nicole goes to Philly. Philly is shocked to see him alive, but Nicole tells him everything, that she did it all at the behest of Lester, but now he is with Philly. Hearing this, Philly tells that they have to withdraw the money from the Lester, but Nicole doesn't know where did Lester put that money, but both make a plan to get money out of Lester. After this, Nicole prepares Philly's tennis coach Jack that he came to Philly's house posing as a fake police officer, so Jack gets accepted for it. Wearing a police uniform, he goes to her house to inquire, where has Mallow suddenly disappeared? Then the officer gets the news that Lester has killed Mallow. Some of Mallow's clothes are also found at Lester's house, which Nicole himself had kept here. Lester gets completely nervous seeing all this, and tells that Mallow is alive, and Mallow is in a hotel, and Lester tells the officer that Mallow's real name is Nicole, so the officer tells him that if you don't bring Nicole alive here in 2 hours, I will arrest you in the case of Nicole's murder. After this, Lester goes to that hotel, where he was told to keep Nicole, but he finds out that Nicole has left. Now he has no other choice, so he makes a plan to escape from this city by taking money. Lester starts heading towards the airport. Actually, Philly wanted the same thing. That was his plan. They also follow Lester's car to the airport. Lester reaches the airport, but finds Philly's father here. Just came back today, and Lester forgot about it. Then Philly also reaches there with Nicole and Jack. Because of this, Lester is unable to run away. Philly then takes the money bag from Lester's hands, and Philly doesn't tell his father anything about the letter, and in return, Lester also keeps this matter a secret, that Nicole is living here illegally, and with that Philly's affair is going on, and it saves Lester's job as well. After this, Nicole tells Philly, I am leaving the job, because sometime your father will come to know about our affair, and they will fire me or the police will take me away. But Nicole promises Philly that I will keep seeing you. Nicole is also intimate with Philly before leaving, and then the next day Nicole leaves from there. After this, Philly goes to his school, and he goes and meets one of his hot teachers. This is the same teacher which explained Philly at the beginning of the movie. Philly thanks him for giving advice to the teacher, and then he also asks the teacher for a date tonight, so the teacher gets ready to go on a date with him, and movie ends here. I hope you enjoyed the video, so click any video of 3 of them and enjoy next. Please don't forget to subscribe our channel, and please like the video, and tell us in the comment how you liked the video. I see you soon.